next generation, okay? And that's the part that's really, really exciting. I am your leader, right? I am your fearless leader here at the African American Women Trucking Association, also known as your president and founder. All right, when we talk about African American Women Trucking Association, our vision and our mission was to increase the representation of African American women in the trucking, logistics, and supply chain. We have increased that mission. All right, we have that mission. We've expanded that mission to ensure that it includes youth development, workforce development, those facing barriers to entry. All right, when it comes down to trucking and logistics, we want to make sure that we cover it all. And in addition to that, we feel like partnership is where that's actually going to happen. So here at ATA, the African American Women Trucking Association, we care about partnership. We care about those that are in the community making a difference, contributing to our ecosystem, contributing to the existence of you as a driver. Okay, you in the industry, you that are in trucking, logistics, and supply chain. And you're gonna hear from those amazing women that are contributing to our industry, including the fearless leader itself this year. All right, so I'm super excited to bring you guys the panel. I'm more excited to bring you our host. Why am I excited to bring you a host? Because she represents you guys. She represents you as a driver. She has been dedicated to ensuring your education, your resources, and your growth in this industry. So much so, she's become a certified instructor. All right, and what does that mean? That means she's taken her education a step further. That means she wants to make sure she's a professional when it comes down to ensuring what you learn, whether it's behind the desk or behind the wheel. So I'm very excited to bring an amazing member of African American Women Trucking Association and our host for our second annual women's panel, Miss Jonique Taylor.
Hey everybody, how y'all doing today?
Good.
Good. Y'all excited as I am to be here. And again, shout out to our amazing president, Nicole. Her energy level, again, is such an inspiration. Y'all, I hope that y'all love her as much as I do, because I'm so grateful and honored to even be a part of this organization. So again, thanks so much for allowing me to be the host today with our panel here. So just a little bit about me. Again, my name is Jonique Taylor. The name of my company is the Queen of Trucking. I've been in the trucking industry for a long, long, long time. Started driving tractor trailers back in 1997 while I was in the Army. So, and after that, of course, I just continued on all different levels of this industry, and I enjoy sharing my wealth of knowledge and experience with others. As a truck driver, especially as a female, how many female truck drivers we have? We have female truck drivers. Y'all let's represent, because this is huge. I tell people all the time, I remember back when I was driving trucks, years ago, you didn't see a whole bunch of females. You didn't see us in this industry, but nowadays we are here, we are standing, and we're not going nowhere.
That's right.
So what we do here at African American Women Trucking Association, one great thing is to empower other women. Not just women, but we do, of course, have everybody involved in our association, but I am very honored to be a certified trainer, to be able to share the light to other females that think that, hey, trucking is just a male-dominant industry. We can't come into this industry.
That's right.
Now we are able to have a voice and be the voice for other women. We're able to advocate for other women. And again, life on the road as a truck driver, it's not easy. Y'all know that, men, women, we know that it's not real easy being on the road. So, but having support systems like ATA and other awesome organizations, Women in Trucking and all those different organizations, it empowers us as women to be able to keep going strong in this industry, because again, our voice matters too. And that's what we're here for, just to continue to shed light in regards to this industry and in regards to educating people, not just to drive the truck, but what about people who want to just be in other areas? Now, the great thing about we all love about trucking is you don't have to be just a truck driver. You can play so many different roles in this industry, and that's the part I love, is the opportunity and growth opportunities that it continues to provide for us. But people like us, we can, of course, be that voice. Be the voice behind people that need us. So again, I'm very proud and honored to be here today and to, of course, be a part of ATA, the African American Women Trucking Association.
Awesome, thank you. Awesome. So I'm really excited here because we're going to introduce our panelists, but we're going to let the panelists introduce themselves. So you get to hear more about each and every one, and you know me already. I just said enough. So we're going to pass it on to this beautiful lady to my right and introduce herself and the trucking association that she represents.
Yeah, so my name is Trina Norman. I just recently found my own company, Divine to Win. It's an executive coaching slash consultant company. I do mentorship. I also am an advocate for sex trafficking as well as women in trucking. You know, and I just want to say it's just an honor to be here today. I am a former executive of UPS. I had over 3,000 LTL drivers. I just recently retired. April 1st will be 2 years, and I am just excited to be here.
Thank you.
My name is Hope Savara, and I'm the founder and CEO of Mother Trucker Yoga. We've been in this space for about 9 years, and really my focus is helping drivers who are feeling like they have back pain, they're overweight, burnt out, and feel like there's no options for them, and really bringing solutions right to the cab of the truck. So that's easy stretches, easy exercises, simple nutrition solutions, sleep solutions that you can do in just a few minutes a day, because I know that all of you men and women that are in here and out on the road don't have a ton of time to be able to overhaul your health. And for a lot of you, that's the last thing on your list, because you're constantly running at both ends, burning the candle at both ends. And to be able to bring you things that don't make you feel overwhelmed, don't make you feel like you have to be an expert, and that work right from the cab of the truck, that's really our focus at Mother Trucker Yoga. And I love partnering with Nicole and African American Women Trucking Association. And I just want to give a quick plug for her, because they're not just about talking about things, they're really about education and about transformation, and they're really bringing things forward in that way. And I'm just really happy to be a part of that on the health and wellness side.
Thank you so much for your partnership.
Hi, Jennifer Hedrick. I'm with Women in Trucking Association, sorry. And just proud to be here, proud to be invited to sit amongst this group of really amazing women. And Trina, you are the best. Talk to Trina, she is the best. But President and CEO, as I mentioned, I've been with Women in Trucking for 4 years now, and my background is not in trucking, but in association leadership and nonprofit leadership in Washington, D.C., and I'm just truly honored to be here and be part of this conversation. And we've got some members here. I see you in your shirts. Thank you for being here. Yeah, just this is going to be fun. Huh?
This is.
It's going to be fun.
I love it.
Yeah.
Everything with Nicole is fun.
I know.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. So, hey, I'm Lindsay Trent. I am the president and co-founder of a fairly new organization called the Next Generation in Trucking Association. And we have 4 pillars that we're focused on. One is to promote trucking careers as a positive career choice. We do that among students and also among teachers, school administrators, school counselors. We are trying to spread the word that our industry is awesome, and we want the next generation as a part of our industry. We also work with schools all across the country to help them establish CDL programs, diesel tech programs, and supply chain programs. Amazing. And when I say that, our real focus is getting them in high schools. There's a whole world of career technical education within high schools. And if a school comes to me and says, hey, I have $10 million and we want to start some CTE programs, should I start HVAC, plumbing, welding, culinary, cosmetic? No, we want you to start trucking programs and train the next generation through education initiatives within local high schools, and partnered with community colleges and driving schools as well. And then really connecting the dots between industry and employers and making sure young people have career paths to go into, and celebrating the successes of young people in the industry. Celebrating successes of companies that are doing an amazing job building career pathways for young people. And lastly, we have a Student of the Month program, so celebrating students that are our future. And that's what we're about at Next Gen Trucking. If you notice, we have a booth in the atrium right behind Women in Trucking. And we've got a driving simulator. We have students here. We've had about 500 students come today on field trips. If you saw buses, we arranged that for the Mid-America Truck Show because we want to get young people excited about the trucking industry.
That's right. I love it.
All right, that is awesome, you guys. Just again, being in the room with these ladies right here, this is going to be some information that I hope that you guys be able to take with you, input in our discussion as well. But just again, especially with the next gen section, with yours, I am excited about it for all of our young and youth people coming in, because not everybody have a path for graduating high school and going straight to college. Some people want to do other paths. So just being able to expose people and have that opportunity, I love it. Absolutely. So we're going to go ahead and get started right away with our discussion here. All righty. And that was just to meet the host. I did get a chance to tell you guys about who I am once again. I am also a role-wise mentoring coach with the African American Women Trucking Association as well. Okay? And then you just met all of our panelists. And let's get right into the questions. All right. So with question number one, from your perspective, what is the biggest shift happening in the trucking and logistics right now, and how must leadership involve to meet the requirement, to meet the shift? What do you guys
I can
feedback? Anybody like to jump in on that one?
I can start that off. I forgot. I have the mic. All right. I think the biggest shift that's happening right now, there's a lot of regulatory changes. There's a lot of different things that are affecting the driver. And unfortunately, I think that it's up to us as the associations to provide education, provide pathways. And I think that with us providing options and just being involved in assisting them with what's next as they're going through all these changes is what's going to kind of help them and with their comfort level as all of these things are rolling in today.
Yeah, and I'll jump in, Nicole, too. It's obviously the economy.
Yeah.
And period.
You said it, the economy. Yeah, the economy.
Period.
I don't know what else to say about that, but that obviously is a problem that we're all facing and what we're all realizing in the day-to-day of our organizations and what we're doing with our jobs. And you're doing it in your own lives separate from trucking, but then you add in trucking and it just dives in a little bit more. So we have to think about that. We have to think about the regulatory and legislative activity. And so I think we've got opportunities to really look at that and focus on where that's going. And we, Women in Trucking, we're not a lobbying organization, but we pay very close attention to what is happening in Washington, D.C., and how we can affect change, how we should be listening to change. And those are all really important things. Mm-hmm. And so if you're not doing that, I would say do that. It's really important, and it's not about politics. Mm-hmm. It's not at all about politics. It's about just pay attention and what's happening there.
Yeah, and playing your part. You know, that's what I think we're all doing as leaders, just playing our part. And sometimes playing your part is just doing this, providing the education, providing some type of support, you know, having the conversation. I think that's where it really starts too. So you don't feel like you're a crazy person. You're not the only one going through this. We're all going through it and we're in it together.
Yeah.
So I got to just tell you, you know, I have a CDL license. I was required to have that to oversee the 3,000 drivers that I oversaw at UPS. But I want to encourage the women in the room to think about this, right? Mondays is just a Trina day. I spend my time empowering my mind. You know, so I get on the Freight Show Live. There's webinars with Women in Trucking that we could participate in. And if you're not a member, I encourage you to be a member. I sign someone up right here at this conference. So I just encourage you to make sure that you are equipping yourself. You know, you need those tools, you need the education piece, you need the knowledge to continue to thrive in this industry. And I got to tell you, I'm next gen trucking. What they're doing for our next generation, and even myself, right? It's just unstoppable. It's unmatched in this industry. Just go to the booth, talk to those high school students out there. They really are doing it the right way, but I just want to empower the women. If I'm going to tell you anything, stay cutting edge. Even though I'm retired and, yeah, I'm a golfer now and I'm doing all these great things, because when you work hard, you play hard. You got to continue to make sure that you attend the workshops. I attended the workshop this morning. I don't smoke marijuana, but I went to the marijuana workshop. So if I'm consulting someone, I can have that conversation at the table. And so we want to make sure that we don't have any obstacles to stand in the way of us thriving in this industry. We just got to make sure that we show up at the table, we are knowledgeable about what's going on, and we stick together. The webinars, the Women in Trucking, the Next Gen Company, and whatever your organization that I'm finding out more about is those are the networks that we just got to play in.
Absolutely. And I want to piggyback off what you just said. Your network is your net worth. Absolutely. All right? You can know everything that there is to know, right? Every encyclopedia in the world. But it's not what you know, it's who you know. And that is the importance of having associations in your corner. Being in rooms just like this, being a part of these conversations, knowing who the founders and the presidents of the associations are actively in the industry, pushing change. So I appreciate you highlighting that. Because a lot of people are like, no, I got my own business. Well, where you're a part of an association that is batting for you to be better, stronger, faster, equipped to handle the changes in the industry that are taking place, that's where it's important. So thank you for your highlight. And thank you, ladies, for the contributions that you provide in our industry.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's funny, you know, you have one conversation. You come to a conference like this, you have one conversation that, you know, two conversations. You
Yes.
have done work for us at Women in Trucking. I mean, we're all connected here, but you have these conversations. And they're important, they add value, and you don't get that out of your office or, until you're here in the room. And so just encourage everybody, to be in the room.
Be in the room?
Yeah.
And I want to talk to the men in the room too, right? Thank you guys for showing up here today, because some of my greatest right?
Thank you.
Some of my greatest mentors were men. You know, they pulled me along the way, made sure that I can stand in any circle that I was in. And so you showing up here today matters as well. And I don't want to make sure this is, because we always hear it's just such a girls' clique club. You know, it's not. It's about community. It's about all of us thriving together.
Can I just say something, though? This particular topic and how must leadership evolve to meet it, I think one of the things we all need to recognize is that the wave of people coming into trucking is vastly different than the wave leaving trucking. And the way they look at trucking, the way that they act in trucking, how they learned about trucking is vastly different. Even the expectations that they put on themselves in the industry are completely on two separate sides of the room. And so this next generation that's coming in and this biggest shift, how I see it is that we as a people, both organizational leaders, company owners, even drivers themselves, the expectations are much different, and we have to ask ourselves, am I willing to shift and adjust to meet those expectations? And if the answer is no, 5 years from now, are you gonna be around? I've been around 9 years, and how I do business now versus how I did business in 2017 is vastly different. Why? Because things are shifting. And if you want to be relevant, you want to help the industry, help people, and also create relationships, you have to recognize that. And so how must leadership evolve to meet it? You got to look around. And you have to face the reality that even though you might have been successful 5 years ago or a year ago from now, you might not be doing those same practices. So you yourself have to stay in touch with that and rise up to that and then pull the people underneath you and next to you up with you. That's how you build a coalition. That's how you build leadership. That's how you build change.
Awesome.
Yes. Thank you so much for that feedback there. That was powerful just in itself, because we, of course, get caught up in the same things that we're doing all the time. And sometimes we're resistant to change.
That's right.
Being resistant to change can hold you back. Wanting to just be a one-man show will hold you back. Not just can, it will eventually hold you back. So thank you so much for pointing that information out in regards to that, because we are shifting, and it's definitely, hey, how to say, get on board or get left behind.
That's right.
Okay? So the next one that we're going to go ahead and go to here is with the Association and Workforce Mission. Now, how can associations and industry partners work together to strengthen safety culture while also expanding workforce opportunities? Can somebody chime in on that for me?
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to start on this conversation. So our organization, we really rely on industry involvement. And I preach this every day to the companies that I work with. If you're not involved in your own community, in your own backyard, working with your local schools, trying to develop talent, then you're missing the boat. People ask me, hey, can you come to this state and do this? No, I want my partners that are in that area to go into that school that's having a career fair for 2,000 students. I want you to go there, and I want you to brand your careers, talk to students about what you do, and let them know that there's opportunities. We also see this really interesting perspective when an employer goes in and starts building relationships with schools. Then there are a lot more young people, students that are more likely to go into the industry. If they don't know anything about the industry, they're not going to go into it. Right. But one thing that's a return on investment that people don't think about is if you have drivers and you let them go and volunteer, talk to students about their jobs, their roles, what they do, you have higher retention, you have higher productivity, because what it does to that person to share who they are and the job that they do, it makes all the difference in the world. And actually, Trina, she came to Patterson High School, which is the co-founder of Next Gen Trucking, is a high school teacher that started this high school trucking program 10 years ago. And Trina got to go and volunteer and talk to the students and learn about them. And what impact did it have on you when you talked to students and invested in their lives?
So first thing, every student walked in the classroom, shook my hand, introduced themselves before they sat down. That's powerful. I'm just going to say this. It took me, so I went on a Friday. I flew back to California late Friday night, and the reflection Saturday is, I was just on my knees in tears. I mean, the impact and the way they show up. I mean, you know, they're already, you see that they're hungry for a great future. And you already know, just talking to them, that there are next generation of leaders that we need to continue to invest in. This was my philosophy as an executive. You know, when our community thrives, then UPS is going to thrive. Mm-hmm. And so it was important to give back to a Patterson High School. That's why I said yes, I'm going. You know, I was excited about going and excited about the interaction and how thirsty they are about wanting to know how to be great. You know, and wanting to know how they are going to be unstoppable in whatever career endeavor they take, because the school is state-of-the-art. And just to see them engage and ask questions, everybody was like, the bell was ringing and everybody was still lifting their hands, asking questions. I mean, that's what our future looks like, and that's what we have to invest in. So yeah, it took me a whole day of just tears and reflection and crying, and I'm just gonna be honest with you, thanking God for the opportunity, so thank you. and just thanking God that he chose me to go. And I was obedient to the calling. And that's the experience for me. Yeah.
Love it.
Did you want to close your thought?
Well, I just love it. And we created Next Gen for the trucking industry, but then it was not too many months later that we started seeing, oh my gosh, no, we created this to change and impact every student's life, that we can help learn to be a diesel technician, change their family tree, and have this amazing skill set that they can have a career, have them get a CDL, fall in love, and grow this passion to become the best they can be. And now we have stories. Now the youngest Walmart driver, 21 years old, supports his parents. The stories that we see every day is why we did this. Right. So we were like, hey, we created this for the trucking industry. No, we created this for each individual student. And I truly believe that they can turn their lives around through careers in trucking.
That's right.
We are a community, and we want young people to see what a great community we are and how much passion we have for this job and how important this job is for our country.
I love that. I'm going to piggyback off of what you're saying, but I want to stop and talk about your passion. Okay, this is a little off and left. These women are on here and doing what they're doing because of the passion. I don't know if you could see the tears in her eyes, but that's passion, okay? That's love. That's love for this industry. If you don't love this industry, I'm gonna politely ask for you to leave. I'm just being honest. If you're here just for some money, that's not what we're up here for. We care about the future of trucking. We care about you as a driver. We care about you as an owner-operator. We're passionate about trucking, and I thank you for your passion. Just to kind of segue a little bit more, talking about workforce development. ATA has put something in place called the Driven Together Education Program. And what that does is we took 6 amazing individuals that were professional drivers, dispatchers, brokers that had 10+ years in the industry, and we ensured that they were certified to learn how to teach adults in different aspects. When it came down to education, it wasn't just about trucking. It was to make sure that you were able to absorb the information and retain the information. So as we put that program together, they went through the program, 40-hour+ program, presented, passed, and now they're out there flying high, teaching what we call behind the desk and behind the wheel. So I would just like my certified trainers, if you're in the room, to just wave your hand real quick. Woo! Thank you guys for your passion and your mission, and just making sure that you're able to push the next generation as well. And so the behind the desk is everything to do with supply chain certification as well as dispatchers. In addition to that, we have coupled it with mentorship. So after they take the 6 to 8 week program, they're mentored by this individual that's already in the business, that's certified, and just walking the walk. They're actively in the business. And that's when some of the contributions that we've added, we partnered, but we're out of Atlanta, Georgia, and we partnered with DeKalb County. We sit on the manufacturing and distribution advisory board. We're also pushing that program through the different cities and the counties, also getting into the school systems as well, but into the technical schools and providing them that option as well. So they're graduating high school and they are going into the technical schools, but they're not really sure exactly what they want to do or how they want to do it. And so we're able to provide them that opportunity, that option, and explain the avenues that are just not behind the wheel, but that are also behind the desk in trucking as well. And I think that exposing individuals that aren't used to, that weren't raised in trucking, or the second generation of trucker, providing them that exposure with the education and opportunities that they can do, again, behind the desk or behind the wheel, is how we're gonna keep our industry alive.
And I would say I'm an industry partner. I know you all have associations, and I love working with you all. And so from my perspective, and coming from the health and wellness side, I think one of the pieces of safety culture is really looking at a company as a whole and the drivers coming into the industry. And so I created the only certification for students coming into the industry to take to learn about health and wellness as a new driver. Because one of the things that I've seen, I've worked with drivers that are in their 80s, I've worked with drivers that are brand new getting their CDL, and the gap there still is they know nothing about how to take care of themselves as a driver. They can back up a rig, they can do all the things, they know all about their truck, they know zero about how to be healthy on the road. That's a problem. That is a huge problem, because when I survey drivers why they left the industry. It has nothing to do with being a truck driver. It has everything to do with I gained 30 pounds, my back hurts all the time, I never see my family, I sleep like crap. Why are we not fixing that? And so when I created this certification, I get to partner with ATA and offer it, and I partnered with another association to do that. This is where we change that. This is where we change that safety culture. When drivers come into the industry, not when they've been in the industry for 30 years and they're like, why do I want to change that? I only got 5 more years. Well, don't you want to also have hobbies, and don't you also want to be able to do the things you want to do with your family outside of the truck? Every person in this room that's a driver, guess what? You're not just a driver. You're a human being with a family and with hobbies and goals and a future. If you don't take care of yourself, you ain't got none of that.
That's right.
And so it's about collaborating together with people like this that we can look at the whole person, not just about the career, not just about the truck, but about the actual person in the truck. And that is why I'm here today.
That's awesome. That's how we help retention.
Yeah.
That's how we I love it. Thank you.
I love that feedback there, because again, you know, with our, you know, for you guys that's been in trucking for a long time, you know, you speak to a lot of drivers that's been in for 20, 30 years, that's about ready to exit. If we don't have new truckers coming into place, next generation truckers coming into place, who's gonna run our industry? If we don't have health and wellness in place, how are the new people that's coming in and the people that's already there, how are they gonna stay alive? I've had a driver that passed away, and you hear about it all the time. Why? Why was a driver passed away in their truck? Half the time is what? Health issues.
Health issues. Yeah.
So once again, being in this room today is amazing, because even though each organization, each association, we're all doing different things, but still it takes all of us to come together to strengthen our industry.
That's right.
So once again, thank you, ladies, for that great information there. Okay. All right,
And I'll just add, if
Go
you
ahead.
don't mind, I'll just add really quickly, I think Hope, thank you, Hope has done great work. And just the idea of movement and doing something for 5 or 10 minutes has a real impact on your body. And Hope has been great on that. I mean, she's, you know, obviously very gifted in so many things, but moving your body for a few minutes is incredibly helpful. And I'll say too, and I'm going to get myself in trouble here probably, but like I went outside today to the food carts and I bought some fries and a soda, and it was $15. And all right, that's crazy in my view, but I didn't eat all the fries, but that's not helping anybody either at all. So we need to, if there's a way at these conferences, and you see it at different events in the association community where they're bringing healthier food, but here, I just have not seen anything. I don't know if you all have, but I have not seen.
Well, I think for a lot of the drivers, you're caught in a vicious cycle. I've talked with the TAs, I've talked with the loves, and it's a catch-22. Because if you're not educated in what is healthy and how to eat healthy and how to shop healthy, how do you expect to buy that stuff? And so then when the TAs and the loves of the world and the pilots of the world are like, well, we're offering it and they're not buying it. Well, first of all, stop putting it behind all the Mountain Dew and behind all the Snickers and behind all the other stuff. Put it at the front of the store so that they see that as an option. But secondly, we have to create a want, where the drivers in this industry say, you know what, I'm not expecting you to run a 5K. You'll never hear me ask you to do that, okay? But what we can do is make one healthy choice a day. And what if that's going into the truck stop and picking up the banana or the orange or eat the dang salad even if you don't like it? I mean, I don't always love salad, but I also don't like cancer, okay? Can I say that? I don't know if I can say that, but like, I said it. And so eat the salad and then have the hamburger. But at least you're putting something good into your body. And the more you buy those things, guess what? Because I've talked with these guys, the more they're gonna put those options out there. And so we both, on both ends, have to bend a little bit and decide that, yeah, I might pay an extra $1, but it's better than this fries, right? Like, it's a better
right,
option.
yeah.
Same thing at these places. We have to start saying, where's other options? Ask them when you go up there, don't you have a grilled chicken sandwich? Is everything fried? Start voicing that you want these things and force their hand to do it, or at least let them know that you want it. And that's how we can start making a change. So both ends of the spectrum win, and both ends of the people start making healthier choices. It's both of us together. We have to do it together.
I think it's deeper than that. I think it's deeper than that. I think it's a mindset shift.
There you go. I was going to say.
And it's not going to start with the vendors. It's got to start with us,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yep.
this morning, I was in the first section, and Derek was talking about, he blessed me talking about it, but he said he started with God and then his family. So it starts in our mind, because I'm a little heavy right now. May not look like it, but I'm a little heavy right now, and I'm not going to blame that on anybody but myself.
But that's not
You know why? Because my mind has to shift to want to go to the gym. So I'm learning this whole thing about habit stacking. So I get up in the morning, I do my meditation and prayer. Now I don't do that in my pajamas. I do that in my workout clothes. That's a habit stacking shift that we all have to make. So now, if I'm behind the wheel and I'm on the road, maybe I pack a salad. Maybe I don't go to the vending machine or the snack line, the snack, because it is all a setup. It's all at the checkout counter. And so, I think it's deeper that how important is it for you to get healthy? Because when I left UPS, I'm healthier than when I was at UPS. My doctor said this to me. He said that if you don't stay busy in a healthy way, you're going to die in like 2 years because of the rigorous routines. So I had to shift to the way I think about it, right? The only thing I'm working on now is sleep, because I didn't sleep. But I don't have the chronic stress. I don't have the twitching in the eye. I don't have the shoulder pain. I don't need ibuprofen. That only happened because my mind shifted.
But that's the one thing.
It did. No one could help me with that until I decided to change my mind to be healthy.
Absolutely.
And so I think that it's deeper than what we see in the store, because it's always at the counter. It's always, I can see that sneaker bar right now at the counter that I'm going to probably pick up, right? So we just got to shift our minds to say, changing minds for changing times. Do we want to be healthy?
That's right.
And if we decide that we want to be healthy, then we'll get healthy.
Yep. And I just wanted to add really quick, when it comes down to health and wellness, I love that as association and as company, we have a focus on that for you guys, right? Because we understand that your goal is to get to the next low, right? You just want to drop it low, go, 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 go. However, we want to make sure your heart don't stop, right? And so when we want to make sure we're thinking about health and wellness and we're thinking about trucking, think about the things that you can do on a small level to make it yourself better. Even if, like they were saying, 5 minutes of movement. Changing your habits are not easy, especially like you're going from low to low. You're showing up at the truck stops and they don't always have healthy options. You're at an expo and they don't always have healthy options. Pack a lunch. Seriously, back in the day, we used to make sure we packed a lunch. Make it your focus. I didn't say eat 7 days out of the week, make sure you eat salad. But what about if it's 2 or 3? What if it's something small that we can do to change our health and wellness that's going to impact our future, keep us in trucking? Because our health is actually gold. Our health is really without our health, we're done.
Yeah, I was in my booth, and I share a booth with the Kentucky Trucking Association, and they have some drivers, and I said, I'm kind of hungry. I haven't eaten yet. And he said, he pulled out a snack for me, and it was blueberries.
Love it.
It was,
Yes.
and it was cold because he had brought his bag that he takes in the truck with him every day. But it was cold blueberries, and he just shared them with me, and I said, I'm so proud of you. This is such a great snack for me. Like,
I love that.
right?
I love
But he had to intentionally pack it and say, I'm gonna make a healthy choice and not eat the candy that's surrounding me, because there's candy everywhere here.
Yep. Yeah, there is.
And can I say this, like habit stacking is small. It's small increments.
Yeah.
you just can't go cold turkey. So, start small. I'm starting small, I'm doing 4,000 steps in the morning. That used to be 0 steps. And so we got to start small and build momentum, but it really starts when you make it up your mind that you just want to be healthy.
Okay, well, thanks so much for sharing that information. I just want to add real quick on that one as well, it is a mindset, but it's also has to be awareness, because one can't shift their mind if they're not aware. So having that awareness is a huge thing when it comes down to our health and wealth in this industry, and having, again, associations like this to bring awareness, to bring it to attention, because as a driver myself, I know what it's like to drive miles on miles on miles every single week, and you barely have time to do anything. So you try to pick up something fast. But if more awareness is brought to us as drivers, we're able to change our mindset quicker. That's right. Okay? So next we're gonna go ahead and go into the building the next generation. So the next question on here is the pipeline from education to employment. What does a strong pipeline into the trucking look like from education to employment, and where are the gaps today?
So I'm happy to start with that. And in terms of the younger generations, there are schools all across the country that have career technical education programs, and that's what they used to call vocational training. There's, it's Perkins funding, $3.4 billion a year goes into federal funding for career technical education. So if we're, as employers, not out there with our schools lobbying for our schools to start trucking programs, then that $3.4 billion of funding is just going to the other industries. Yep. And I think for years that some industries have really put a huge emphasis on this, and now it's our turn. And so we all have to act within our own communities and our own backyards to help the schools. And that's what we're here to help do. We have a curriculum for CDL programs. We have all of the partnerships to help for diesel and supply chain programs. And so if there's a school, if you're like, hey, my local school could be a good fit for this, reach out to us and we'll get connected and meet with that school to help start these programs.
Lindsay, thanks so much for sharing that, because that was the next question I was going to ask in regards to next generation, in regards to how is next generation, of course, in trucking, help building early awareness. Thank you so much. Any of the other ladies have feedback?
This is really small, and a lot of times I focus on the little things, whether it's in health, we have a 1% rule, make 1% better every single day. At the end of the year, you're 365% better. But in this particular regard, one of the things that I always do, and this is a personal thing, whenever I'm talking about trucking to people, regardless of their response back, I always make sure I say professional truck driving career.
Right. Yeah.
Because this is not an afterthought. This is not like, I guess I'll become a truck driver. No, every single one of you in here that is a truck driver, you are a professional truck driver. Right. You are not anything else. This is a high
Yes, give us that professional
industry.
status.
This is something that should be seen as an amazing career, lucrative-wise, but also all y'all are doing things that like less than 2% of the people in the world can do.
That's right.
Back up a semi, okay? Like I can't do that.
Yeah.
So
That's
kudos
skill.
to all of you that can. Like we need to start talking about the people in this industry. Like when she goes into schools, no, this is a professional truck driving career. This is just as prestigious as anything else, and I think when we start changing that language and that mindset and that culture, also the people coming in is going to be drastically different, and how other industries view us is also going to change.
That's right.
Love that.
That's
That was good.
Thank you. The next question we have is, the next one on here is mentorship.
May I add
Go ahead,
something?
go ahead.
If you don't mind. So Hope, you need to be a motivational.
That's why she's our partner.
I mean, nobody's clapped for any of the rest of us. So, yeah.
Awesome.
No,
I appreciate that.
No, it's all good. And I agree with you 100%. I think a couple things that a few points I'd like to add. I hear people use the language, I am just a truck driver.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I'll just sit there with that for a second. And none of us are just anything.
Right.
You know, we are who we are. We're living our lives. We're doing the best that we can. in everything that we're doing, whatever that is. But there is no, I am just a truck driver.
No.
And so if we can figure out a way to change that narrative, I think that would be really helpful. We do other things too in partnership. At Women in Trucking, we do other things in partnership with all these different ladies here in getting people into careers and understanding that not everybody's going to college, and it's not the way of the world, and that's not a problem. And but for a long time, I remember growing up, I don't know how many of you, but growing up, it was like, yeah, you got to go to college, you're on this track, and you're blah, blah, blah. But that's not where we are at this point in time. And so focusing on that and making sure that we can get people into careers that they want to be in and they can be successful, and understanding that they can be successful is really important. And especially women, because a lot of women do not understand that this could be an amazing opportunity for them. So.
And I just wanted to say one thing, piggybacking off of what you two ladies just said. You're right. When you were growing up, you're like, you have to go to college. And the children that didn't go to college, could you imagine how they felt when everybody else was doing college tours and they came back talking about how excited they were and what their future was going to look like? How damaging is that to the child that did not want to go the traditional route? Why should that child feel less than? Why shouldn't they be just as excited to have Lindsay show up at the school talking about what their pathway or the next step looks like, or have Ada going into their facility, painting and providing a workforce development plan for them? They should feel that same sense of excitement as that individual that's going to the four-year university. And so I'm so happy that we're able to highlight that and provide opportunity for those that don't want to go to college, but also can add to our ecosystem and ensure that it doesn't collapse, since trucking makes the world go round.
That's right.
All right, so it's been so much great information. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this information as much as we are enjoying discussing it. We're getting ready to wrap up shortly, just a few more minutes, but let's talk about in regards to mentorship, sponsorship, and leadership development briefly, real quick. Now, what role do mentorship, sponsorship, leadership development play in retaining women and advancing them into leadership roles?
I think they play in all roles. I founded the Women in Operation Initiative along with two other people at UPS in Southern California in 2019, and that program, Women in Operation, it was to educate, motivate, and develop women to thrive. And so a lot of times what you see, and I'm just going to talk about UPS because I did it for 34 years, is that you will see that the men will say, put me in, coach, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready. And then you'll see the women will say, really, me? You think I'm ready for that? And so our role and responsibility was to identify talent within. So we would seek out women, especially I called it on the dark side because we work nights. It was the women that were in our hub operation, or the women that really didn't speak up, but they were loading the trailer, and they really didn't speak up, but they were women that we wanted to encourage to go back to school to make sure we build a professional profile, to make sure they understood what opportunities were available for them. And we actually mentored them. When I left, a lot had gotten promoted. Some are drivers now, because, you can be a successful driver, you can be an executive. I have a CDL myself, so if I want to pull two doubles in the parking lot, I could do that if I want to do that right now. And so we want our women, and we want people within career roles to know that they just need to step into their greatness. Don't say, oh no, coach, I'm not ready, no boss. Oh, me, really? Don't you think I need a little bit more? And so we have to overcome those kind of self-doubt talks that we say to ourselves that we're not ready. So I think you could be a great mentor, you could be a great leader, you could be a great sponsor. I have 8 girls that I've put through college. My last one just graduated from Prairie View University in December, and she's going on, I'm still mentoring them all. She just got her first career job in Dallas, Texas. China just got her first career job in Atlanta. So it never stops, right? All 8 of them are thriving. Thank God for that. They're all thriving, and I mentored them all 4 years while working at UPS. So I think we just got to step into our greatness and forget saying, oh, I'm not ready. So that's just my take on it. The sky's the limit. Be on my tagline that I've trademarked is be bold, be unstoppable, you're remarkable, you can do it all.
Yes, love it. And hey, one of my favorites is put me in, coach. Women, don't be afraid to say that, because again, you have to stand up and, like you say, be bold. Okay? Anybody else want to chime in real quick?
Yeah, I will. I think the mentorship, sponsorship, leadership development is really about a coalition. Being in this industry 9 years as a female, and I had to work really hard to get a seat at the table. I'm just going to be totally frank with you guys.
100%.
Nobody was going to bat for me and be like, hey, how about that girl from Wisconsin? Let's bring her over here. I didn't go to college. I have 0 education. Like, I grew up around truck drivers, but I'm not a truck driver. My husband is a CDL. He doesn't do over the road, though. But, like, I had to work really damn hard to get to this seat here today, to get my voice heard, because I'm really good at what I do. And I'm not just saying that to say that because I'm up here. I'm saying that because I have the ability to help people. And that's what I want to do, and every woman up here. And the way to help other women do that same thing in the industry is every single person in this room, when you leave here today, look at your circle. Is there a woman in your circle that you feel like you could help raise up? It's called the pull-up mentality. When you're up here on the mountain, look down. We're always told to look up. Look down. Who can you pull up with you? And imagine if every person underneath that was doing that too. That's how we get a seat at the table for all the women that deserve to be there, that have the ability, that have the knowledge, that have the expertise. I'm not saying put someone there that's not ready. What I am saying is that every person in this room knows somebody that's ready for that next thing. And yes, it is our job to look for those people and to help them, because sometimes they're not ready.
Right.
They don't think that they are, and they need that little nudge. Yep. And what if you could be that very person to do that? That's how we bring this next generation in.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I want to stay on exactly where you are, Hope, and I'm going to segue that into Ada's mission and vision. We couldn't do any of this without our partners, without our collaborations, without our sponsors. I mean, the list goes on. Matter of fact, if you're a partner, a sponsor, whatever the case is, of WIT, Next Gen, Ada, can you please stand up, please? If you're a part of one of our, thank you. We appreciate you. We want to acknowledge you. Thank you for your partnership. We couldn't do it without you. So these are the faces that are creating change, supporting us as individuals. And I'm not going to leave you guys out as well. If you're members of any one of our associations, please stand up.
Yes.
And this is what we're doing for. Thank you guys. We appreciate you. This is why we collaborate, and this is why we partner, to ensure that we're able to get the messaging out, provide the resources, provide the education. Thank you guys all for your partnership.
Yes, I love it. Love it. All right, so the next one we're going to go over, our last 2 questions, is we're going to have an audience Q&A session in just a second. So real quick here, scaling meaningful collaborations. And as you just said, collaborating together. Hey, how you say, Nicole?
One team, one dream. That's right. They know it. They know it.
Right. What does meaningful collaborations between associations, carriers, and workforce partners look like, and how do we scale it? But real quick, before we go into that, honey, you just heard a mouthful of exactly what that looks like. But anybody want to?
We'll give 30 seconds to each one of the panelists.
Sure. I'm going to say the way you scale anything is through relationships.
That's right.
And it's not just about what you do, but it's about who you can bring along to do it with you. Because I might have passion, but I also need Hope's passion about fitness. And I need Trina's passion on leadership and mentorship. And so our goal is to bring everybody with us to inspire the next generation.
That's right.
And it's not about me, it's about all of us.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, you summed that up so well, Lindsay, as you always do. But I would say find a person, and building on the conversation that we just had on mentorship. Find a person that you can talk to, whether it's your colleague or somebody you've worked with at some point in time, a sibling. It doesn't matter if it's a man or woman. Just find a person that you can talk to and talk. Period. So that, it's a simple thing to say, but it is really important as we build our skills and as we build our growth in career and life. But I don't have anything else to add on to the collaboration piece, because you've said it very well. We have to collaborate. We are not doing this alone as organizations, and that's why Nicole has invited us to all be here today in collaboration to talk to you about what we're doing and what we're seeing out there. And I think that's really indicative of that.
Yeah, I'll say for me, I look at it as we as a culture, it's not even in trucking, we are kind of in a shift right now where I'm just gonna say it, it's a me culture. What do I get? When I interact with people, it's like, well, what can I get from you? I think we need to shift that focus, and it's what can I give to you? So when you're out talking with people, networking, doing all the things, instead of going up to them and being like, ooh, I wanna work with them because they could help me with this. No, it's, what can I do for you? So in those conversations, I want you to try to add in what do you need? How can I help you? The second you do that, it's called reciprocity. They're gonna come back and they're gonna wanna help you. Mm-hmm. And so we have to shift that mindset. It's not always about us. Sometimes it's about helping the other person, and they automatically are gonna wanna return the favor. I do good, so I receive good. And so if we change that as a culture, that's how we change this for the future.
Mm-hmm. That's good. All right, awesome. So again, this concludes, of course, our panel discussion. Now, we will have room for questions. After we end here in just a second, Nicole is going to come and give us our closing remarks on everything. And then if anyone have questions, feel free to come up and speak to the panelists. We're getting ready to close out, and you can just come right up here and speak to any of the panelists if you have any questions, in regards to maybe challenges that you're currently facing in the industry and need insight or anything like that. You're more than welcome to come and speak to anybody on our panel. Thank you guys so much for joining. We're going to turn it back over to Nicole, and she's going to do our closing.
Thank you. Well, first off, can we give a round of applause for our host? Thank you. All right, and then keep clapping. Thank you for our panelists. All right, keep clapping for our panelists, guys. Thank you. I could not do this again without you amazing ladies. I look forward to the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, the 6th to keep getting the word out for the next generation, for women in trucking, for fitness, health, and wellness, for just collaborations, because that's what it's all about, guys. If you're in this room, you understand the power of networking. You understanding the power of education, okay? Because again, I'm going to say that again. It's not what you know. It's who you know. So if you walk out of this place and you're not collaborating, you're not getting somebody's phone number, you're not changing LinkedIn's, you're doing yourself a disservice. Because that's how you're gonna grow. That's how you're gonna thrive and survive in this industry that has all kinds of ups and downs, right? So that's what we need. We need one another. So I'm gonna challenge you, if you're not a part of any association, to please reach out to us. Become a part of our association. We love signing people up. A few of you have become members of AUTA this week, and we're excited to have you. Same thing goes for these two amazing ladies, and we're getting ready to run off to an amazing episode at Women in Trucking. So if you're part of it, I'm excited to see you there. I thank you again. We are here to make sure that we're able to make each other bigger, stronger, faster, like the Bionic Man. Some of y'all don't even know what that is, all right? But I want to say thank you for joining. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of this industry. We need each and every one of you, because what? Trucking makes the world go round, baby. Woo. Have an amazing time.